right. So here's part 2 of the annihilation that Stephen A. Smith did to Jason Whitlock. Let's begin.
About this piece of garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, as a black man, I often told y'all, I cannot imagine, as a black man, knowing our history, anything worse than a white supremacist. That is, until Jason Whitlock came along.
Dang.
He's worse than them. He is the worst, most despicable, lying, no good, fat ass human being I have ever known.
Damn.
In my life.
Damn.
And I'm going to take a break because I got more in a minute. You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on YouTube. And the reason I don't care is because I've been holding it in for nearly 10 years. And so there comes a point in time where at the very least, at least one time, you have to address it. It's necessary. It's important. Okay. And as we sit here today talking about this subject, there's certain things that we just don't need to let go. You know, we just don't need to let go because there comes a point in time when enough's enough. And that time has arrived. Getting back into him and to really elaborate extensively on us. Ladies and gentlemen, John Skipper, the former boss for ESPN, wanted to start this website. And if you remember, when The Undefeated first came into existence, it was labeled the premier platform for intelligent analysis and celebration of black culture and the African-American struggle for equality. That's what it was labeled as. Now that I read you that quote, let me give you a quote that this guy, Greg Howard, has a recording of Jason Whitlock saying to his staff at that time. If you're more comfortable working for white people rather than working for me, and that sounds humorous, but it's the truth, fine. This is according to audio obtained by Deadspin back in 2015. Some black people are far more comfortable answering to a white person than a black person, no matter how black they like to pass themselves off to be. Far more comfortable because they know a white person is going to overlook their shortcomings. It's good for a Negro. I'm not about that. But if you're more comfortable working for a white person, I will find a white person for you to work for. We have a higher standard here. Everybody has to get on board with that, or I'm going to find a way to move them someplace else. That was Jason Whitlock. And then he went out and hired a senior writer and editor, Mike Wise, who's white. This is the man that's in charge of black culture. Why can I say that? And by the way, I'm not casting any aspersions against Mike Wise. I'm cool with him. I've always been cool with him. He used to work for the New York Times. Used to cover the Knicks long before he moved on to the Washington Post. He's a credible journalist. I have nothing negative to say about him. I'm just saying, black website, but you bring in your white friend. In part because black folks didn't want to work for you. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, how serious I am? Am I? I have a contract that I negotiated with ESPN and I signed in 2015. I don't know of anyone who has this in their contracts. I had it in my contract, and I have a copy of it, where it specifically stipulates that I never work with Jason Whitlock.
Dang.
It's in writing. No wonder you didn't see him on First Take.
Dang.
You didn't see him on Undisputed with Skip Bayless either. Skip Bayless wouldn't allow him on there.
Dang.
You didn't see him on Numbers Never Lie either. Jamel Hill and Michael Smith wouldn't allow him on there. Christopher Broussard for Fox Sports and Fox Sports Radio. Let me take a moment to tell you about Chris Broussard. If Chris Broussard were not in this industry, do you know where he'd probably be? Probably, because I don't know for sure, but probably be, y'all, in a monastery. He's one of the most religious, God-fearing, decent human beings you will ever encounter. It doesn't get any better than Christopher Broussard. And he can't stand Jason Whitlock. Look around. Don't y'all notice why black people scurry away whenever this roach of an individual is around named Whitlock? Because we know what he is. We know what he is. Blaze TV. You may not know. Glenn Beck, Dave Rubin, the great one himself, Mark Levin. I bring up Blaze TV, which is where Whitlock works, because I want Blaze TV to understand I'm not talking about you. I know you're conservative, you're conservative, I get all of that. I'm not judging accordingly. I know Mark Levin well. We have one another on speed dial. We talk all the time. The same applies to Sean Hannity, the Andrew Wilkows of the world. Okay? I talk to these folks. I'm not one of those people that's married to one side or the other. And decent people are everywhere. Be careful that you don't get yourself stained and stenched by Whitlock. He can do that to people. He is the worst. He's not ethical. He's not moral. Clearly, based over what I told you about me, he's also not factual most of the time. He will lie. He will denigrate. And he will turn against anyone to serve his own good. The real reason, and casting no aspersions on what Blaze TV presents and what it has to offer, the real reason he's there is because he can't get a job anywhere else. Jeez. He hasn't burnt bridges. He's napalmed them. Call Eric Shanks and Charlie Dixon at Fox. Call Jimmy Pitaro, Burke Magnus, Dave Roberts, Norby Williamson at ESPN. Call him. Call him. Call John Skipper at Meadowlark Media. I'm giving you names. I'm giving you names. That's just, I already gave you on-air talent names. I gave you reporters and on-air talent. Ladies and gentlemen, this same Jason Whitlock that wanted to talk smack about me is the same Jason Whitlock that wanted to hire me It's the same Jason Whitlock that stood outside doors trying to get me and coax me into even having a conversation with him because they knew I was so disgusted with him, presumably after he hit a strip club. Because we all know ain't nobody trying to go out with him. Okay? The same Jason Whitlock, that guy, is the same guy that sent both Dan Lebertard and Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas, the two-time champion, the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest point guards in NBA history, now working on NBA TV. That guy, that same Jason Whitlock, sent those folks to talk to me. Please, is there something that can be worked out? Can you forgive him? Can you talk to him? My words and my promise to them was that I want nothing to do with him. I will never hurt him from getting opportunities, but I'll be damned if I'm going to help him by being associated with him in any way. Do you know why I said that, ladies and gentlemen? As black people, and I guess I was wrong. I should say at this particular moment in time, I was wrong to call him a fat bastard or a roach and all of this other stuff, because that's not my name for him. My name for Jason Whitlock is religiously Cain. C-A-I-N. You see, a lot of black folks, we talk about how we're the original man on the face of this earth. Well, that means Cain was the original murderer, because he's the one, according to the Bible, who killed Abel. That's Jason Whitlock.
Dang. Yeah, Stephen A. really don't like this man. Dang, boy. Talking about a house Negro, huh? Jason Locke is the house Negro of all house Negroes, huh? God.
There is nothing good about him. Absolutely nothing. And I challenge anybody that knows anything about him to refute what I'm saying. I have the facts. They're all here. I know what he's done. The biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes that John Skipper could have ever made as the former boss of ESPN was hiring that man. Everyone knows it. That's why he attacks ESPN. That's why he attacks colleagues and contemporaries in the industry. It's not just because he thinks he's smarter. It's not just because he's fearful of anybody smarter than him in the same room. It's not just because of those reasons. It's because he truly despises us all. It's who he is. And the funny part about it is, when he sits up there and he says, you know, I can't do this or I can't do that. Look, I'm 56 years old. If y'all think now that I'm successful in this business, that I gotta sit here and lie about me playing basketball in high school to write in my own damn memoir, at this point in time, I can't help y'all. I'm not gonna waste my time with that silliness. What I would say to you, however, is this. I have a bestseller. Where's his?
We're going to leave it off right there. Shoo, Stephen A. went in. Y'all leave a comment down below, man. Stephen A. Smith said Jason Whitlock is worse than a white supremacist. Just crazy. Boy, DMD signing up.